What do we have here? It's a Sitivien. Whatever it is, it's cool. Just got this thing straight out of China. Pocket clip just doesn't quite match with the rest. If I could get a cool pocket clip, man, that had these little funky offset screws, I would love it. You know, I always modify things, so first thing I did when I got it was I took this Harpoon forward a little bit. It was about here where it went down. I don't know why I needed to do it. I just needed to. It wasn't harpoony enough. The harpoon was too far back, so it was like not really a harpoon. It was just a indent in the back and then a regular blade. Now it's more of a harpoon. Still a couple little scratches I got to get out on the blade. Mostly got it polished up nice. One other little change, I rounded, so the end, the tail here, whatever you want to call it, used to be a little more square on this corner and a lot more square on this corner. So they basically kind of like a very square end on it. So I rounded this one just a hair and then this one a lot. That may have been a mistake because you can actually kind of catch the end of the blade just barely now. I can almost get it. I definitely caught it in my pocket a couple times, but it's, you know, if it scratches you, no big deal. It's still worth it to have a cool corner on there. That's debatable. Is it worth it? Who knows? I've opened it and closed it like, I don't know, 500 times, so the pivot's getting a little bit loose. I need to tighten that up. But it took, you know, 500 openings and closings to get it to come loose, and they all come loose. You got to put some blue Loctite in there. I got a video on how to do it, so it's easy. It's a big sucker. I measured the blade at just a hair under 4 inches, if maybe even a hair over 4 inches if you measure from here. This is the Sitivien ST111. In D2, supposedly. I'm not sure if this D2 checks out. Have to check with Love Them Knives and see if this one got tested. Probably did. I think it's somewhat of a knockoff of something, and I don't remember what. It's like a jungle knife or something like that, made by somebody. Some kind of tactical sounding name. If I remember, I will. And if I figure it out, I'll put it up here. If nothing appears here, that means that I failed in trying to figure out what it's a copy of. And when I say it's a copy, I don't mean it, you know, they're trying to copy it perfectly, but, you know, heavily inspired by, I think. The detent, to me, is too strong. Like, let's see. Do I got a boo-boo on my finger from pressing this thing so many times? Yeah, kind of. It's a little red, a little bruised. I mean, it's... Yeah, there we go. It's snappy for sure. It could use a little bit of a detent ramp going into the stop detent so that it's a little easier to open. I'm probably going to put a one of those quick studs on here so I can do the thumb thing and the reverse flick, and that needs to have a lighter detent for all that action too. Yeah, you can see this pocket clip. It kind of hangs over this ridge right here. It doesn't look very cool. It's just doesn't quite fit in with the rest. It's probably the same pocket clip they use on 10 other knives. Very smooth though. I'm not sure what the bearing situation is, but very smooth though. Very buttery smooth. Nice. Almost drop shutty. I think with a little more wearing in, it will be. Handle, pretty good ergos on it. Ergos? Ergos? I really like the blade profile, especially after the moving that harpoon thing up a little bit. Came pretty sharp too. I could cut a piece of paper with it, but you know what's even better than paper? Really thin, wrinkled up receipts. If I can cut that. Okay, it's cutting it pretty good, but there's one dead spot I can feel in it, right? right about in the middle of the blade, but it's pretty sharp to cut this. And this is like some flimsy paper. So yeah, it's pretty sharp. That's factory edge. I didn't mess with it. I am going to mess with it though. So I like it okay. I don't, this little line through here, it's interesting and kind of, but it's also a little boring. I'm going to do something with it. I'm going to like bevel this top all the way, this top half of that handle. I'm going to bevel it all the way over to the line, I think, so that this, the whole line will be smooth. But then it's going to peel away from the rest. It's hard to explain. I'm going to do something cool with it though. Maybe I'll bring it back and we'll put it in the same video. Maybe I won't post this video until I get it done, and we'll show you the part 2. What does it look like when it's done? Alright, so I'm going to plan on doing that. So we're just going to stop for now until I get it done. So I dyed the green scales black with the RIT dye, and now I'm going to do some cuts on it to reveal the green again, hopefully. Hopefully that works out right. Starting with the what the hell is this called? An oscillating barrel sander for the roundy round parts, and then belt sander for some more flatty flat parts. So we'll see how that goes. And here's how it goes. It does go. Here's how it does go. Here's how it is going. So it was all black, as you saw a moment ago, even though that was like weeks ago. It was all black, and then put it on the sander and took off that edge. You can kind of see that it's at a different angle than the flat. It's slightly down angle like that. And then the same thing all along this side. Took down the black to show the green, and then across the front and across the back, so that it's, you know, got like a green surround the black texture. So this is the original texture, which I like. I think it's pretty cool. It's different than the peel ply texture, but maybe they still call it a peel ply texture. I don't know. Oh, and then added the thumb stud, so now you can thumb flip it or reverse flick it or use the flipper. The flipper is shorter. I can't remember if we talked about that in the other video. The flipper is shorter now, but it's still good enough. It could maybe use a full-size choil right here, but I don't know. It doesn't necessarily have to have that. Oh, little tiny little bit of work. This, oh no, this side. This pocket clip just kind of went down and around, and it looked kind of weird because it was a round circle, not parallel with this cut here, so I just flattened off the bottom. It still hangs over just a hair, which I wish it didn't, but it does, so that's just life. That's about it. So you got your Sitivien ST111 in D2, modified with added thumb stud. And that's it. It's a big ass knife, and even as it comes stock, they're pretty cool. So have a nice day.